And joining me now, we finally get a Republican, Frank. This will probably ruin your day now, but I'm kind of glad to see we have a Republican candidate. We welcome Chris Huckenpoehler to the Blaine Young Show. And this is your opportunity, Chris, to talk to the voters, tell them why they should vote for you. But right now, tell us, who is Chris?
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Huckenpoehler. I live in the city of Frederick, and I want to see common sense change. And just like all y'all, I am your friend, and I am your neighbor. I'm also a father, and I'm a guy that lives in town and wants to see things done a little bit differently here in the city.
Okay, so what do you want to see done differently? Or what prompted you to run? Was there any one thing? Or
Yes, Nia. Imagine, I had a conversation earlier today. I'm here with Robin Henniges, my campaign manager. Had a conversation earlier today that imagine how many thousands of politicians across the United States have been talked into becoming politicians by somebody just simply saying, quit complaining, I don't want to hear it anymore, do something about it. I'm doing something about it right now.
Yeah, that's what I consider protest. That's what Anita protests. She runs for office. So that's basically what you've done. And so, but was there one thing that kind of, or just a series of things?
It's forgive me, I'm cutting you off, but
okay.
It's the same thing that I feel as a citizen of our city. It's the same thing I run into when I keep knocking on doors and meeting folks. It's consistently taxes, taxes, taxes. They want their taxes lowered. We want less crime, and we want less government.
Okay, so, but, was it like overcrowding that was a concern, or was it just taxes in general that was a concern, or they want people to butt out of their life, the government to butt out of their life?
Okay, if we can start with taxes.
Sure.
They want less of their money going into the government pocket. If we look at, we gave, in just the last 3 years, we gave more than $10 million to the Weinberg and to the golf course. That's a lot of money going out that we're essentially subsidizing the Weinberg and the golf course. I'm not saying get rid of the Weinberg and the golf course. I think they're wonderful for our city. I'm just saying that the people I talk to, and I agree, I've been pouring over the budget time and again, and the people I talk to, we all agree that we should not be having to pay tax dollars for those two entities. They should be privatized, and it should be wholly owned commercial entities. And that's a great way that we can stop paying money. Look at the current administration right now. They've already cut taxes twice, and it seems so trivial, but it's so true. It's 2 cents and then 2 cents, and we're down to 65 cents per 100 assessed. Let's look at Hagerstown. Hagerstown is at 78 cents per 100 assessed. Ocean City is at 39 cents per 100 assessed. And if we look at that, why is Ocean City so low? Because they have people coming into the city, and they spend a lot of money. And we all know that. And Ocean City, I believe, is a destination city, and I want to make Frederick a destination city. And one of the best ways to do that is we can cut taxes. We can reduce crime. Crime's always going to be there for us, whether we like it or not. As long as people live near each other, there's going to be crime. I think Chief Kim Dine, who I've met with, and who, by the way, is totally accessible through the neighborhood advisory councils, et cetera. I've met with him, and he's got crime to near almost 20-year lows, which is fantastic. I say keep it getting lower. If we make our city a safe destination for somebody to wake up on a sleepy Sunday morning, honey, grab the kids, we're going to Frederick, Maryland. That's the kind of place I want to see.
Well, do you think a convention center would be helpful in this endeavor, or you would count on just the tourism part, just people come to Carroll Creek or to go to the Weinberg or to do any of those things? I think, I'm using a different term because, the people, when I knock on their doors and I talk to them about all these different issues, and I think convention center is it's a little more intimidating than what I refer to as a conference center. Now, I met with... He's a big name in this town, Charlie Bell, who ran the airport for years and years. And we just secured a whole lot of property out there. That would be a terrific spot for a conference center, I believe. And when I ask people, and I'm literally, Anita, I'm literally standing on their doorstep, and here's one of my ideas. What do you think about that? And they respond back. Some people, they don't care because that's not their issue. And some people say, wow, that's a really good idea. So I go with conference center, and we could do it out at the airport with all the space that we just secured. Charlie Bell, he sold me in
to all his ideas. I met with Charlie and Kevin Doherty, who currently runs the airport, and I think we can do a conference center out there to include, name it, hotels. We need space to put people. If you try to go throughout the city, I heard a quote from somebody that if you try to find a space on a busy weekend with more than 100 people, good luck. Okay, the city of Frederick can do better than that, and that would be a great spot for it.
Very few places where that. What about transportation? How do you think that the city's doing with regard to transportation?
One of the questions came to me, one of the online questions, which, by the way, I need to speak to you that. One of the online questions, when I first talked to you, 2 weeks ago, I called you. All right, first thing I'm going to ask you, please say my last name, and please say it correctly. It's really easy. And
I did. Weren't you impressed?
Okay.
Didn't I say your name? I thought you told me that I did say your name correctly.
Huckenpoehler.
Yeah, Huckenpoehler.
Very easy to state. I'm also the guy...
Try saying my last name. I bet you get it wrong.
Okay.
Say it. What's my last name?
All right, so what I'm looking at... Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to try it because I didn't want to be challenged. So, as far as transportation goes, one of the online questions that I was asked just today, they're talking about the MARC trains. MARC train coming out of Frederick. But, I got to say, I looked at the question, I'll respond to the question, but that's not what the people are talking to me about.
And this is a question from whom, Chris? I mean, is a newspaper?
Am I allowed to? Yes. From a local newspaper.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and I'll respond to that, but that's not what the people are talking to me about.
Well, that's what we want to hear.
Okay. MARC train, understood. Maryland has got 2 new light rails going in down in Montgomery County. I know that. Some people want Metro to come all the way to here to Frederick. I think that's wonderful, but that's not what the people are telling me that they're concerned about for our city. And we can do better. We can make. I've said time and again, we can make common sense change. That is not on the front burner, if you will. So as far as transportation goes, the big thing I see as far as transportation could really propel our city to be a true destination city, and that would be the airport. And that's why I asked and requested a meeting with Charlie about. I was very fortunate enough to find that Charlie and Kevin Doherty were there, and we talked about the airport. I'm hard-pressed to imagine or discover a city that didn't have a great airport, that didn't turn itself into a magnet for people to actually go to. I don't want to be a city that I feel is at the crux of I-270 and I-70, where you stop and get a burger and a Coke and you keep going. I want to be a city where you stop and you want to be here.
We've been a crossroads. Frederick City was developed as a crossroads, but I mean, you want to change it now to a destination.
Yes, absolutely, without question.
Okay, what are some of the other things that your constituents are telling you that they are concerned about?
Some of them are telling, hang on a minute, I want to put my dog back inside so I can come talk to you. I don't get it, and I've asked so many people. Frederick is a big dog city. Everybody's got dogs, and she can tell you we did the same thing time and time again. There's so many dogs.
We do have a lead law in the city, if that makes you feel any better.
That's fine, and the dog park, and I'm fine with that. I may lose some votes by saying this, but I happen to be a cat person. But that's fine. Cats don't bark. So
that's true. But I mean, you were talking about not funding the Weinberg and another thing. But what about the dog park? Do you think that's something that local government should provide?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm fine with that. And you know why? Because people in Frederick like dogs for whatever reason it may be. I just don't happen to own a dog. The dog park downtown, just off Bentz, is it's only 2 blocks from me. I'm fine with it. So should we fund things like that? Yes, and the reason is because it's not just my views, but people I talk to, obviously their views are going to be, I want a dog park.
How do you feel with regard to how the city does its budgeting? Are you for zero budgeting or some modified version of zero budgeting? Or
I'm as far as the budget goes, I'm disappointed that more people haven't. And for obvious reasons, I've been poring over the budget time and again, and becoming more and more disappointed about what our budget is doing for the folks that live here. I wish the city would promote itself more in letting us know exactly where our money is going.